All I do is adore you all of the time. I like to.
Right, you lot, I actually went out today to try and do quite a bit of RC, and I took the Savage out, and I also took me, I'll put it back up there on the shelf now, I took my little drift car thing up there, that Maverick thing. I've only got the two thingy batteries, I ain't got the lipos, I haven't managed to resurrect those yet. But I went out and there's 3 fields near me, 3 football pitches. I've all got kids playing football on because it's Sunday, so I couldn't drive around on those, and I thought they might have been because I could hear them. You hear the angry dads shouting, don't you, and the little kids running around. All they want to do is just be gay and be left alone, but their dads want them to play football because it's manly. But yeah, anyway, so they were playing football on 4 fields and there wasn't anywhere else I could go. I went to the BMX track, but we had a bit of rain last week, and the BMX track is full of, all it is pretty much dips and stuff in it, and that was all just full of water, so I couldn't really, it can go in water, don't get me wrong, you know, but I didn't really want to get it wet. I never really have been one for driving my nitro trucks or cars around in water. I know a lot of people that don't care, they go through mud, they go through puddles, they would just happily just drive through anything, whereas I'd rather not. And you know, it'll be all hunky-dory and everything would be alright, but I'd rather not. So I couldn't actually do any, you know, action today because of all that problems. Yesterday would have been a good day, Saturday, but I had too much to do yesterday. I was fiddling around with real cars for a change rather than these ones. So I must apologise to you lot. I must apologise, I haven't actually put any action videos out ever, apart from when I was testing the stupid petrol one. But there will be something to come, but for this afternoon I was just going to have just a check around on the car, and I've already checked it already, but just have a close up look at it, just to make sure everything is okay. And I thought, well, why not just film it and stick a video up? You know, a video is probably better than none. I mean, those of you that are bored can probably watch it, and the rest of you can just wait for the action videos, I suppose.
I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you, if I may. I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you.
Alright, so some of the problem that I'm actually getting here at the moment is that because so many of the screws are just stripped out, the threads are stripped out, I can't get any of them out. They won't come out, and I know that if I do get them out, I'm not going to be able to get any other ones back in again. That's the problem I'm getting, because over the time, I mean, this one here has completely had it. That one just, it will screw back in again, but it won't. You know, you can tell that the thread is going. It just keeps turning and turning and turning. These ones here, that one there's had it. That'll just keep turning and turning. These one, that one, pretty much all of them. Because they only go into plastic, they're all pretty much stripped out, which is a little bit annoying, to tell you the truth. So I've got 2 choices. One is I leave it for now, I don't take the box out, and when I eventually get to go and have a go, I can just keep playing with the little screws to try and make it change gear when it has to change gear. Or I force them screws out and hope that they go back in, because I haven't got any bigger ones. I can't tap them out and put any bigger screws in at the moment. So none of these screws are the original screws either that come with it, because I have actually got a big box still of screws, because over the 15 or so, however many years old this is, pretty much every single screw has fallen out, you know, because I used to use it for whole days at a time, 12 hours. I used to just be going everywhere. So none of these screws are the original screws anyway, and when they're plastic the screws go in, take them in and out, you know. I've had this car completely in bits many times when I've been out and about, you know, trying to fix stuff. I used to take spare parts with me everywhere I went. So that's the problem that I'm facing at the moment. And to tell you the truth, I think I might just not bother and leave the box in for now, because I'm hoping in the next couple of days, because it's staying lighter for longer in the evenings now, I'm hoping maybe after work I can have a little go for an hour or so, half an hour, in the next couple of days. So if I've got it in bits and I can't get any screws back together, there's no point in having the screws in loose, because then they'll just fall out and it'll fall apart while I'm using it, you know what I mean? So I think what I'm going to do is, no, I'm going to put it back together now and not bother taking any more of it apart. But I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up, clean it all up, make sure it's nice and clean while I'm at it, I think.
Night and day, if I may. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, if I may. If I may. I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you night and day, if I may.
At some point I've obviously lost a wheel nut, because you can see this is an ordinary nut that I'd put on. I'd only just realised it. There's me trying to undo it and it's a different size. There's actually two of them, two on that one wheel, and I've managed to get this first one off, and I was like, why ain't the bloody wheel coming off? And then when I looked in, there's another one on there, so I've obviously lost one of the original wheel nuts. You can see the difference between that's a proper one that's supposed to go on it, and that's just a normal nut. So I've obviously lost the real one at some point many years ago and had to put a funny one on it, and I only just realised it, like remembered just now when I tried to take this one off. But hey ho, at least with two nuts on there, that ain't gonna come off now, is it? I hope. Well, I hope it won't anyway. If it does, there's something wrong somewhere, that's for sure. Blimey. This is the left-handed side, left-handed thread, left-handed nuts, because the right-handed nuts won't go on it. So you've got to make sure you put the left-handed nuts on it, and they do up the wrong way. Well, now this is what I mean when about the design for HPI than that other one that I had, that thing from Nitro Tech, because on these they actually have, you take the wheel off and you've got a little, like the other one, but you've got a little thing inside the wheel there, which has got a little bolt, a nut, sorry, on the wheel, on the axle. So you take that off, and in there, look at it, you've got a little groove, a little sort of cut out bit, words escape me at the moment, sorry, and then you've got a little pin, which hopefully we'll get a focus on in a minute. Now that little pin, you know, with that little pin that goes, that we're not going to focus on, just make this focus in now, you've got a little pin and that moves in and out, so you can take that pin out. When you take this axle stub out, you can take that pin out when you ain't got gloves on. See, look, it moves. And that goes in that little cut out there, which then that goes on there. And I've had it before on my older wheels. The only thing that can foul is if the plastic on this little, on the wheel, if the plastic there sort of rounds off, then obviously you get the nut spins inside the wheel. Well, that happened before, but the only way you're really going to get that is if you don't tighten up the wheel nuts tight enough and they come loose, and then once it's started rounding it's going to keep going. But as long as your wheel nuts are tight, there's no way that pin can slip inside there. No way at all that can slip in there. It's virtually impossible unless the pin snaps, or that little groove in there, that cutout's that's never ever gonna sort of strip out or anything, is it? I mean, come on, let's be honest. The amount of power what this little engine puts out, it ain't never gonna do it. And I've had it before, where before I got my failsafe, it caught a signal or something happened, it shot off and it was stuck against a wall on full throttle, and the wheels weren't spinning because they were dug in. It burnt the clutch out eventually by the time I got to it, but it never stripped out any of these. Anything it done was burn the clutch out. So there's no way that's going to go. So that's a far better design. Why they can't do something as simple but effective as this on those cheaper ones, like the petrol one I had, that buggy truggy thing from Nitro Deck, why they can't do that, I don't know. I have no idea. But there you go. So that's much better design. Right, let's try and sort out this problem I had. Some of you might remember the last time I tried this, I turned it on and I realised my throttle was still open slightly. So let's see if we can adjust it. I don't know what one's the throttle trim. What one's the throttle trim? I can't see with my eyes. That must be the steering. That one's the throttle. Oh, that's interesting. That's all the way in. So that should be on minimum throttle now, but it ain't. I thought it would just be the case of the trim. Very interesting. Right. I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjustment on that there then, aren't I? So let's adjust it and see if we can get it to be right. I'm not quite sure why it ain't right. That's bizarre. That is very bizarre. I wonder why. Steering throttle. Well, it ain't in reverse, that's for sure. 3 channels. Leave that alone. It's obviously not hooked up, is it? Let's have a little bit of adjustment and see if we can get it to be alright. I don't know why it wouldn't be, because I used to use it all the time. To adjust it, all you got to do is pop off this little bar here. Now, because I want it to go, after I push the brake and it comes back a little bit. See, I don't want it to do that, I want it to stay there. And I thought that does full throttle anyway. I don't want it to go onto throttle after I've pressed the brake. So pop that off with a screwdriver, be gentle with it, don't be rough with it. And then you want to turn it the direction you want it to go. So I want to turn mine outwards a few turns. I'm not going to count the turns, some people count them. You must count the turns, blah blah blah. Shut up. So there we go, and just pop it back on. Now let's do an experiment now. If we pull full throttle, we've still got full throttle, and you can test that because you can't open it anymore. That's as far as it will go. It won't. There's no more throttle on that. That is it. But when we push the brake, it still comes back. Each time I push the brake, it comes back even more, which it shouldn't really do. But since when are you going to keep pushing the brake? You're not going to keep touching the brake like that, are you? You're going to put the brake, accelerate, or brake and leave it. So we're only getting a little bit there. So I'm pretty happy with that until I get out and actually test it. So that's all fixed now. That's very easy. A lot of people have broken throttles and, you know, they're zooming off and they're like, well, I don't know how to stop it. Well, if you was to stop and pay some attention and actually look and experiment yourself, you will work it out. If you want to adjust your brake, so like when you push on the brake, you should do it when you got it on the floor really, because I haven't got a lot of room on this desk. But you can see that it rolls freely. There's no brake rubbish there. When you press the throttle, that should be nice and free. And that's just, I'm not pushing the brake there. Now when I push the brake, that pulls that. But we're still, when we're not pushing the brake, we haven't got any, it still rolls. And even when we push the brake, we've got nothing. There's a little bit there, not a lot. So what you do is you twist this, and you want it to go in towards the back of the car. So you twist it, depends which way. If you're looking at it from this way, you twist it anti-clockwise. If you're looking at it from that way, you twist it clockwise, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure you can work it out. So just keep twisting it. Or you can, if you run out of thread on here, all that I've done in the past, haven't had to yet on this car, probably have in the past but I can't remember, you can lengthen this bit of tube. All it is a bit of fuel pipe, bit of fuel tubing, just lengthen it and then you won't have to have this out as much. But now we've got a nice bit of breakage there, that's on the brakes there now, and when we let go we're off the brakes. Throttle, let go, off the brakes, brake, that's it. So now we've got a nice bit of breakage. Everything's a bit loose on this truck, that's all quite loose, you know, everything's loose, but it's bloody old, so what can you expect? But things like that are very easy to adjust, but people just, I can't get my head around sometimes how people just do not look and just, I don't know, some people, ridiculous. Anyway, it's easy to do, that's how you do it. So, bloody hell, we've had a little bit of a play about today. Not exactly what I wanted to be doing. I do apologise you lot, I do apologise for not doing any action videos, probably getting quite bored now, but at least I've had a little bit of a chance. I've sorted out my throttle problem. Well, it weren't really a problem, but I've sorted it out so it doesn't really accelerate after putting the brakes on now. And I've shown you how to adjust your brakes. So that's, you know, something good's come out of it. I didn't get to look at the gearbox because, let's be honest, I am quite lazy. Didn't really need to take it out. I was going to take it out and have a look at it anyway, just to see if there's something wrong with it. But hey ho, because them screws are all stripped out, I decided to leave it. And if it doesn't work, then I'll deal with it in the summer later on. But for now, it's going to be alright. I'm probably not going to get to go out and do anything for ages anyway, because it is still the winter. Don't forget, we're only in the beginning of February. There is a bit of a problem anyway. My local RC shop closed about 8 months ago and I didn't even know. Only recently I realised Heath's RC Models is dead. So now I've got to order any part online on the internet, which is a shame because there isn't anyone's nearby. I think a subscriber was going to sell me a transmitter for that backwash thing. So hopefully I'll be able to give that one a bit of a test run soon, that backwash thingy. But other than that, I think the guy that I swapped the petrol car for this, the guy I swapped that with, he's had a lot of problems with that Bigfoot buggy. So, you know, probably a good job I did get rid of it, because I knew that it was crap, because I never got to actually use it because it always broke. But then wheel things, and he fixed that, and now once something snapped, the steering servo broke or something, he said, and something else broke. Oh, the transmitter wouldn't pair. So don't buy cheap crap, man. Just don't buy it. That's probably going to break the first time I use it, probably.